Well, good day, everybody. Welcome back. Earlier this spring, you watched as I installed irrigation Ollas in this tomato bed behind me. Now, the tomato plants have gone through their fruiting cycle, and we're coming, fall's coming, and this is pretty much the end of the tomato season for me here. So, I am looking forward to digging up those Ollas and seeing how extensive the root system of these tomato plants are. And I'm assuming they must be pretty good because they grew well, they produced well, and so let's take a look at the plants here. Okay, so here's what's left of the plants themselves. So as you can see, I went with I didn't go with the single stem method this year. I got two plants that I let bush out a little bit, and there are some tomatoes left on here, but they're small and not doing very well at this point anyways because of the cold nights that we're getting. My tomatoes in the back are still doing fairly well. They are almost done as well, but what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull these plants out of here, and then we're going to play around in the soil. Okay, so first off, here's the bed. Plants have been removed, and if you remember, when I planted this bed, I put at least 3 to 4 inches of this wood mulch on top. So let's start out by just saying, wow, it's really broken down because as you can see, there's not 3 inches of mulch here. There's maybe two inches before I get down, and right beneath the mulch was half an inch to an inch of worm castings. I covered the entire top of this bed with worm castings, and this would probably be even more broken down if I had top watered. As you can see, there's worms in here. There's a worm right there, and I did just barely wet the surface of this bed down a couple of times to get some nutrients from these worm castings to seep down into the bed. But other than that, 99% of the watering was done from the Ollas that are underneath this. So, and then we'll start taking some of the soil out of here so we can take a look at the root system and the Ollas themselves. Okay, so here's the Olla that I found, and it's not easy to dig around in here. These roots are quite thick. See, here's a massive root system I just ran into. As I get down in here, I just ran into some really dark soil. That is dark stuff just down here. Obviously some good humic acid in that soil. It's nice and dark. That's what you want. So the trick is going to be, I've actually come across a bunch of worms in here, so sorry worms, I hate to disturb your home. Wow, this is held in pretty tightly by roots, and dirt is falling down in there, but we'll pull it out and we'll have a look at yeah, I think you can clearly see what's happening. Okay, so these were 4-inch Ollas, but you can look down in there, I think, and see for yourself the root system that was wrapping itself around the Olla. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull up the rest of these 4-inch Ollas. They have to be pulled out of here anyway, because when it freezes, it probably will crack the clay pots, and I don't want to have to completely buy new Ollas and put them all together next year. So alright, I wanted to come back and show you guys more root system. So this is root system that was wrapped around the second Olla here, and you can see here's a chunk of the root system. Just you can see it's a big mat of roots that were wrapped around this Olla, the second Olla that was in here. Alright, so I'm going to continue on pulling. Alright, I decided to pull up the plants so that I could show you the full, not really the full root system, because a lot of them did break off as I was trying to pull the plants out. But as you can see here, just take a look at that. I mean, I'm still pulling roots out, and just these big old long roots that nice healthy white looking roots, and these big long thick roots, these are what just wrap themselves around those Ollas, and you can just see how extensive the root system is. And here is the pink oxheart. Now the pink oxheart did perform very well, but its root system, at least from what I see here, doesn't appear as though it did as well. But quite a few of the roots may have broken off, beneath the surface. But you can see the plants were planted deep, and yeah, if you decide you want to use this method, check out the videos on how I did this. The best thing about this method is all I have to do is come around over here. All I have to do once a day is fill this little 3-inch round tube with water, just once a day, and that's it. And even if I missed today, it wouldn't be a big deal, because the Ollas themselves would still have water in them. Now you can see the bed is quite dry, and this is because I have not been watering it. The tomatoes were practically done. Fall is here, and the tomatoes don't require a lot of water this time of year. And it made it easier to dig up the roots without, a bunch of water in there. Here was the wood chip mulch that I dug out of there, and you can see it's nothing like the wood chip mulch that went into the bed. It's very well started to break down. So I think I'm going to take this mulch and put it in another area of the garden, because this bed will be getting moved anyway. It's going to be not in this exact location next year. This location is starting to get shaded out with the trees that are getting taller. So alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of how the 2015 Irrigation Ollas did. I do still have the Irrigation Ollas over in the other tomato bed, which I'm not going to dig up yet because those tomatoes aren't quite done. But as soon as they are, we will probably take a look at that one. And I'll be sure to keep the video short because it doesn't need to quite be as long as this one was. So please share the video, subscribe to the channel. Have a good day.